let's see how to do all of that with more precision. Because we did a bunch of rounding in there too, didn't we? With more precision, utilizing just technology. Now, I mentioned before, you will not be able to do what we're about to do right now in Excel directly. You have to actually use the formulas if you want to do something like this in Excel. We'll get through that together as we go through the next few weeks together. Please, Zach, yeah?
How do I delete my L?
We're going to show you that right now. We're going to show you that right now. It's part and parcel of what we have to do. So fire up your TI. That's so funny. Fire up your TI. I.e. press the on button. Turn the crank arm. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff with this data. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, good. So, question was, how do you clear data out of your list? Great question. I got a bunch of stuff in here. I was doing all this math in my lists. I'm going to use L1 and L2 if it's okay with you guys. Put your blinker on top of the list's name, L1. Press the clear button, not delete, clear. And then press down and all the data gets wiped out. L2, clear, down.
How do you get to the L2?
Back, if it's gone.
Oh, stat. Oh, stat.
Oh, sorry. So how do you actually get to the lists? Gotcha, from stat. Exactly. Is anybody missing L1 and L2 altogether? It's like gone, missing, can't find it. Everybody's got them there? Excellent. Clear everything right now. We're going to need 3 lists. I'm going to go ahead and clear everything out, though. All right. So, at this point, in L1, put in those ages that we had over there in the far left column, the X column. So 19 and a half, 29 and a half, and go ahead all the way down to that 79 and a half, because we're going to have to use those for the next group of people. 39 and a half, 49 and a half, and so forth. What do you think's going to go in L2? Take a guess.
Do we need to put the 69 and a half, 79?
Only because, Tony, we're going to do the bottom finishers as well, and we're going to share that data list.
Okay.
So technically, we're going to put zeros in for the top finisher list, but we're going to use them for the bottom finisher. So please do if you would. Thank you, sir. What do you think's going to go here? The frequency, Cheyenne. Put the frequencies in there. So put in the 7, the 44. Cody, here's where you're going to have to use your list too, yes? Yes. 19, 10, 1, and now throw in 2 zeros as well for the ones that are not present. I'm putting those in as placeholders. Ah, too dark, right?
Did you forget the 7?
Did I forget the 7? No. Oh no, it's off the screen on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you scroll down too far, it starts scrolling. There it is.
Alright.
And don't worry about the bottom finishers right now. We'll come back to that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to put the frequencies for the bottom finishers in L3, but don't worry about those right now. Let's just take care of this guy right now. Okie doke? Ask me more questions if you have them, please. This is just mechanics, but I want to make sure you understand what we're entering. Kelly, go.
Well, it's basic.
Go ahead. That's okay.
I can't get it to there.
Stat. Press your stat button.
Yeah, but it's got secrets.
It's stat button right in the middle, and then edit. Boom. There you are, my friend. No, please ask me those. Because seriously, once we get okay with running averages and things like this in the TI, we're doing it all the time. So make sure you're asking me those questions now. I want to get them out of the way now rather than answering them like in week 8 when you can't understand anything we're talking about in class. Good. I mean, not good. Good to ask me questions now.
Do you have frequency in L1 and age in L2?
You totally can, but watch this, Cheyenne. The next 2 minutes will answer what you have to do differently.
Okay.
So at this point, you want to go to the calculate menu. Like we did for 1var stats with Ernie. You go to calculate, stat, press the stat button, go to calculate. Remember 1var stats from Bert and Ernie?
Yeah.
Hopefully you do. Good. Grab 1var stats. Now, I'm going to do something I don't want you to do. I'm going to press enter right now. Did you already do it? That's okay. You can fix it. I'm going to press enter. There, I just got numbers, didn't I? The average age is 49.5 with a standard deviation of 21.6. Why is that wrong? Because it thinks there's only 7 people in the race. There aren't only 7 people. We figured out there were 81, right? Did we figure out there were 81 people in the race? Why does it think there's only 7? Because I put 7 data points in list 1. When you press 1 bar stats without any lists after it, it's okay to do that as long as all of your data is in list 1 by itself. Right now, the TI thinks there is one 19-and-a-half-year-old, one 29-and-a-half-year-old, one 39-and-a-half-year-old, a 49-and-a-half, 59-and-a-half, 69-and-a-half, 79-and-a-half. And the average of those 7 is the one right in the middle, which is 49-and-a-half. It's telling you the correct result, but you didn't tell it the correct stuff to look at, yes? So how do you tell it the correct stuff to look at? Piece of cake. Get 1 bar stats back. 1 bar stats again. Tell it first where your data is by pressing second L1. Remember second L1 where we set the histogram? Same thing. The TI now knows where your data is. Now you've got to tell it where the frequencies are. Put a comma, which is the button directly above the 7. There's a comma button. There's a comma button up there. Directly above the 7. Please.
Where's the L1 button?
Second 1. If you press the second function button and then the 1, you'll get an L1 popping up there, yes? Awesome. Please.
I know.
Eric, go ahead. Oh, does yours look different?
I'm lost. I don't know what we're doing. I'm two steps
Hang on a
back.
second. No, you're good. 1 bar stats. You're right with us.
You entered it there.
Now you get L1. Second 1, just like we did with the histogram yesterday. Second and then 1 gets you L1, which is the list 1. Then a comma, which has got its own button. And now that's where we are right now.
Like this?
Now you've got to tell it, yeah, but not in there. You've got to go to stat calc 1 bar stats.
Oh,
Do it
okay.
there. If you do it in the list itself, it's going to give you a big old error for a syntax.
Second 1 comma.
Now you got to tell it where the frequencies are, which is L2. So second 2. Second 2. Now the TI will look at L1 for the data, and it'll do a weighted average with L2 for the frequencies. Now press enter. Boom! This guy look familiar? 33.8? This guy look familiar-ish? We got 8.7. We were off a little bit because we rounded a little bit along the way, but there it is right there. 8.7, rounded to 8.7. It just did all of that, like that. Which is what I want it to do. I don't want you guys getting lost in that computation anymore. We're done now. Never again. No need. No need. This gets you the result like that, and then what do I care about more than anything? Once you have the numbers, what do I care about? What they mean. What do the numbers mean? Then you have to talk about Gesundheit. What is a standard deviation of 8.7 years? What does that mean? Again? How far from the average the data is on average. You don't have to use the word average twice, technically speaking. On average, data is 8.7 years away from average. Now again, this is wicked meaningful when you have bell-shaped data. Do you have bell-shaped data? We thought it was pretty bell-shaped, didn't we? We thought it was pretty bell-shaped, correct? Can you make a histogram of this data like we did in class last time? Of course you can! Go to your stat plots. Second y equals. Second y equals takes you to your stat plot menu. Second y equals. This is where your histograms are. This is where everything is actually stat plot wide. Go to plot 1, just like we did last time. Plot 1, yes. Make sure he's turned on. Make sure he's turned on. Make sure you get the histogram selected. I was messing around with 105, so I'm on the scatter plot now. Go ahead, ask me that question. Eric, go ahead.
How do you turn it on?
Oh, just press enter. Whenever you take, very good question, thank you, Eric. Whenever you're turning something on a TI, it's pressing the enter button. It's like a toggle. You put the blinker where you want it to be and press enter. So if I wanted to turn it off, I would arrow over and then press enter, and now it's off. So, but I want it on. I want to look at the graph. Say that again? Oh, because I'm on scatterplot right now. I'm in the wrong place.
I was gonna say.
I've got to go to histogram, which means I then arrow down, over. That's the histogram. Press enter, and now it's going to change. Now it's going to change. Good. Yes, there shouldn't be a y list. There's only one variable. So now you have to tell it where your data is, just like we did with the weight losses in class on Tuesday. But the weight losses in class on Tuesday were raw data. We had individual data points, right? Everything was in L1, which means this was correct for Tuesday. The data was in L1, and we counted each one of them one time. Where's our data now? It's still L1. Eric, go ahead. It's exactly, the data's here, the frequencies are in L2. Thank you, sir. So L1, leave L1 where it is. Change frequency here to second 2 for L2. Now it's going to know to count your data in L1, L2 numbers of times. Kelly, ask me that question.
Why wouldn't it be up there right beside L1, like a comment?
Well, T.I., would you, Kelly Johnston, KJONHNSTON@cocc.edu. She has a very, very good question I'd like you to answer. Thank you. Hell if I know, Kelly, because that's the way they set the damn syntax up. I wish I had a better answer for you than that. It's totally illogical. You'd think it would be set up the same way you did the one bar stats, yes? But it's not. I swear to God, if cell phone companies made TIs like TIs, or made phones like TIs make TIs, you wouldn't buy them. They're so illogical. Say that again, Don.
This one's
Because the 84s, in certain iterations, they made a certain adjustment. Maybe you'd like to explain that too while you're at it, why some of the 84s have and some don't. Maybe? I don't know. It infuriates me, honestly, Kelly. It's hard enough to learn this stuff, and then when those goofy twists go in, it infuriates me from a student perspective. So I don't have a good answer for you. But I do have data that we can look at, yes?
Yes.
So let's go Zoom 9 for Zoom stat, yes? Zoom 9. There's our histogram. Yes? Yeah, there's our histogram. Yay! Looks kind of bell-shaped, correct? Oh, bell-ish. Good. Good word, Zach. Bell-ish. Not perfectly bell-shaped, but definitely bell-ish shaped. Bell-ish shaped.
Mine's got two graphs get combined together.
Can I see your data? You may have two plots turned on, my friend. You do. You do.
Oh, is that the
You've got stuff left over from... This is from...
was in 105. I recognize those equations.
You just turn those off. See,
Okay.
Kelly brings up a good point. If you have, and this will happen sometimes, especially if you're taking other math classes, you might have something in your y, like I do right now, actually, you just can't see it. I've got an equation in y1, you just can't, oh, there it is. It is right there, actually. So you might just want to go in there, anything in y1, just hit clear on and then regraph.
Can you fix it? It starts to show me the graph and then it disappeared instead of had.
Error,
Yeah.
syntax. What the hell, let's go to that. Yes, I can try to fix this. Go to. It's in the y. Look at that goofy little equation in the y.
Oh.
This happens when I let my son play with my calculator. All kinds of fun errors. Clear, clear. Yeah, if you ever get, that's a good question actually, Jen. If you guys ever get an error that says syntax, it'll always give you a go-to option. Always go to it. It'll take you right to the problem.
Okay.
And it's usually nothing to do with 243, everything to do with a 6-year-old kid playing with it and then putting it back in your bag. So, cool?
Yes.
So now we have a histogram. Yay, us. Beautiful. And we now know it's roughly bell-shaped, and now we can make all those conclusions about percentages and be happy about it. Cool? Ask me questions right now. Please, please.
Last time we went to the window and kind of cleared up the unit.
You can. I don't see much of a need to do that with this one.
I would just take practice.
Oh, you totally can. With group data, it gets tricky. So Zach's got a good question. You can go to the window and mess with the window. For right now, this X scale. Now, Cody, this is where you have to do it in your F1. You're in Disney. This X scale is how wide the bars are. So the bars are right now set, for some reason, at 8.57. I don't know why the bars are set at 8.57. You might want to change those to 10, because that's how wide our bars are. 19, 29.5, 39.5. Ours are 10 wide, not 8.9 wide or whatever it was. The 19.5, I think, is a fine starting place. So you can just press graph now. It didn't change much. The bars got a little bit wider because you're taking up a little more space from each one. But it doesn't, with group data, it's not that big of a deal. It's with the loose data. And we'll play with that hopefully later on today if we have time, for sure. Cool? Great question. You can always finagle your graphs. Okay, you guys ready? Practice right now. Do the exact same thing. Give me a histogram, an average, and a standard deviation for the bottom finishers. Okay? Same thing for the bottom finishers. Same data set, but use the bottom finishers instead of the top finishers.
Was there someone else in here that I had notes for?